thing. They're not your friends. They don't care about you. They don't care, like, if like to me, that's the point. Like, if you have 3 million followers, those aren't your friends. You have 3 million people you're influencing. That's a huge tide. And I think there's a great responsibility that I'm not sure they all have.
Hi, and welcome to Bring It On Studios. I'm sitting next to my girls, and we are so excited to talk about influencers today and what they bring to the table. Is it good? Is it bad? It's the middle of January. It's a little chilly. And I feel like people are definitely on their devices a little bit more in the north. So we got a lot to talk about today. What do you guys think?
Absolutely. Listen, I've been looking at my phone and noticing my hours spent on, you get those little metrics that show you like how many hours you've been on your phone and where you spent your time. And that can't be right. How can that possibly be right that I've spent all this time on my phone? But you're right. What are we doing here in the Northeast and the wintertime? Unless you're Darian Boyle, who is the face of Sugarbush Mountain, you are absolutely skiing.
Yeah. We've been skiing, we've been filming, we've been just nonstop action with ski training. But I'm really excited about today and everything we have to talk about.
Oh my gosh! Well, I think you are kicking off our grittiest headlines this week, Darian. So, what do we got in store? Please tell me.
The top 5 wasn't me, ma. Dystopian. At least 8 wrongfully arrested with wrong facial recognition. Police, unintelligent and AI, skipping step and using unproved facial technology. Wah, wah.
I don't even understand that.
I mean, the facial technology that they're using in this police department is like, at least from everything I'm reading, they really haven't vetted that out yet. And they're feeding it into a computer and making, large generalizations about people. And the stuff that I read from the Washington Post talked about people being in jail for a year based on this technology. So
we start really relying on this type of technology legally.
Well, you defund the police, you got to figure out some way to catch the bad guys. So next, number 4, high stakes. Professional sports athletes being targeted and robbed while on the job when everyone knows you aren't home and where you live.
Oh.
Yikes.
This is an old story.
Yikes.
This is Paris Hilton, too. Too much information. People that want to tap into knowing what you're doing, if you're somebody that's high profile, they can find out exactly where you are or where you aren't. And boom, you're a target.
Yeah. And now, thanks to, again, technology, they know exactly how much money you make. And they know where you live. They know when you're out of town. It's a scary place. I would not want to be somebody who's in public figure at this point.
Agreed.
Definitely take yourself off Snap Map if you're on Snap Map, people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And number 3, Gen Z doesn't know how to change a light bulb. What? Shocker. We have an idea. Maybe take some basic life skill classes, real and in person, instead of faking it on social media. Who doesn't know how to change a light bulb? Huh?
Let's bring back some home ec so that people know how to cook and they know how to sew and they know how to freaking type. And truly, like this, it's a lost art. And Gen Z is getting ripped in shreds. I read a headline that they would vote the same way Team Swiftie votes. So we need to shake these Gen Zers, shake them up and give them some advice and, I don't know, hold their hands a little bit less.
Yeah.
I got no comment.
Yeah. No comment. I wanted to take auto mechanics. I wanted to take auto mechanics in high school. My mom said, no, you'll take home ec. So I know how to change a light bulb.
Good class. I mean, I'm pro all of those basic classes. They should bring them back. Agreed.
Yep. So number 2, Bad Bunny Burrows, unafraid of New York City subway, joins Jimmy Fallon in surprise costumed performance. It was awesome.
Well, they're doing everything they can to try to push people underground again.
Yeah.
Creative thought there.
I think it's so great. And I love the fact that people got surprised. And hey, listen, if it helps get people down in the subways in New York City, let's go.
Jimmy Kimmel and Bunny were in disguise with beards.
Fallon.
Or Jimmy Fallon. And they were playing the Backstreet Boys, one of the songs, and a crowd eventually surrounded them. And then they revealed who they were.
So fun.
So,
Fun.
Yeah.
That's the best surprise you'll get in the New York City subway. And number 1, drum roll. Well, it's true. You can wear a thong in Brazil, but now can't have a phone in school. Brazil joins many European countries in taking back community in ban of kids' phones. Let's do it here in the US. That's my input.
Great job, Brazil.
Great job.
You know what? I'd rather have people like naked than addicted to phones and kids not knowing how to drive their car, their vehicle, their device.
Totally.
So-
And listen, they follow a lot of other European countries, and we all got to get on board with, again, we've said it in prior episodes. We didn't give kids a car. We didn't give kids the keys to a lot of things. They need licenses. They're not allowed to drink. They're not allowed to smoke until certain ages.
For a
Phones
reason.
should be no different. And let's get on board with this, people. Let's go to Brazil. I think we need to go to Rio.
Carnival,
I
it's called.
really want to go to Carnival. And the fashion, the Brazilian
fun.
fashion
I'm
is
going to be
so
a
amazing.
voyeur. I'm not going to be naked. I'm just going to watch everybody.
Well,
So,
speaking
ladies,
of being a voyeur, what are we talking about today, girls?
well, remember, you guys, when we grew up, and you would read magazines and you'd look at like your favorite actors and actresses and you'd see their style, you see their fashion. Are you preppy? Are you goth? Are you sporty? What is your vibe that you learned from magazines? And now all these kids, they go on social media, they have their influencers, and those influencers are the ones where all these kids now are getting their fashion style and they are learning their makeup tips and everything else. I mean, what do you think about that? Is it taking away people's individual creativity, or is it just the way it is?
And I think the benefit to having an influencer, I definitely believe on both sides of the fence here. I do like for people that don't have kind of their own sense of self, or they don't have their own style. Like style isn't something that they're good at, or they're not gifted with how to really start cooking, or they're not great at developing their own workout routines. There are a lot of good influencers that bring to the table all of those things that we just discussed and a healthy lifestyle. So their platform shares content that can be whatever it is that you need advice on, or you're looking for a little help. And so in that regard, I like it. I do not want everybody to look to these influencers as gurus and as omnipotent, all-knowing everything, because they're not. They're humans. But I don't think it's a bad thing to follow some people that you recognize are talented in a different area that you might not be as skilled.
Well, I have to say the language on which social media has been derived bothers me from the beginning. It's followers. Everything I teach my children is not to be a follower, to be a leader, to have their own thought processes. Everything about influencers. You don't want to be under the influence of something that you can't control. In our prelude to this segment, we talked about the kids not really being at a place where they're formed in knowing what's truth and what's fiction. And it's really hard to even discern that. These influencers are not vetted. They are a lot of promoting their own causes. They're getting compensated. So what they have to say, you don't even know if it's really a product that they use or something original thought they've come to on their own. So I'm highly suspect of a lot of the influencers. And listen, it's marketing today. To Farley's point, of the way that kids get information, the way people get ideas on style, the way people get ideas on hacks in their house. But I just question motivation of not only the influencer, but the companies behind it, not just the businesses they represent, but the platforms that are purveying all of these concepts.
A lot of influencers started to kind of come out of the woodworks during COVID. And one of the most famous influencers that kind of came out in that time frame is Alex Earl, who's from our hometown. And the way she
We'd always see her at the Parker House.
She went to school with my kids, and I know her mom, and I know her well. Here's a kid that was self-deprecating. She got her start kind of by being really honest. She did not like her skin, and she went on, Accutane, and she documented it publicly. And she's a beautiful girl, but she showed that she's real and that she had terrible acne and the struggle of going on Accutane and not being able to drink and whatever. She became a real person to a lot of people that might have been going through similar struggles. She didn't like her physique. She wanted boobs. She made her boob job a global experience for everybody. So different strokes for different folks. People tune in to whatever they're attracted to at that moment.
I feel like kids don't have individual style. they're now becoming sheep in a herd that are following all these influencers. And look, as you're an influencer, if you're a pro athlete, if you ride for Red Bull, whoever it is, whoever that sponsor is, that's what you're going to be pushing. It's all whatever brand someone's giving you money for is what you're pushing. And that's kind of the message that gets out there. Is it good for the kids to follow that path because, hey, they're learning about skincare and learning skincare routines because that's a huge, huge amount of influencers all are about skincare. And this is how you start it. And the supplements. And is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Because now you get these really young kids who, look, you want them still to keep their innocence. Now are like, oh, you can't buy that product. You can't buy Drunken Elephant. It's bad for your skin. At what point is it not okay?
Well, and at what point do you know what the truth is? And that's, I think, the bigger and broader problem that is not just influencers, but it's social media. It's, unlike what you're saying, paid sports athlete, compensated, somebody who's got a sponsorship and Red Bull comes behind them. They've done a lot of work in what their craft is to become a legitimate vetted individual that a company wants to align with, right? Some of these influencers and the hotel that I worked with for years, they were basically going on followers and where the demographic was and the metrics of it and the math of it. And we've talked about that a lot on the episode too. And it has nothing to do with the work that the person has put in. It's the ability for them to get people to follow them. And I get concerned with even just that language because
I don't like
why am I following you? Where are you leading me? What is the path that we are taking? And what are the goals, morals, compasses, all these things that you represent? Because and I think it's a complication for some of the businesses is that you aren't able to, influencers are trying to be authentic, right? Because they want to connect with their base in an authentic way. I can talk to my viewer right here and connect with you here. But if I've got an ulterior motive back here that I'm not revealing, that's largely what it is. And guess what? What's the motivation for the influencers? I'm sorry. It's not your health and well-being. It comes back to.
But when I was ski racing and I had different sponsors and they'd come to me and they'd say, hey, will you represent our company? I only took on products that I 110% believed in because that was your livelihood. That's what you were pushing. If I liked your goggle, I am going to push it. I'm going to tell all my friends about it. I turned down a bunch of sponsors.
Are like this, though. I do believe.
Yeah, but you have to know that hopefully they do.
Well, if I was Rockstar Energy Drink, I would go after Darian Boyle because she is my image of my brand. So I do feel like brands go towards people that reflect what their vibe is. I think some of it can be contrived, but I do think Paige Lorenz is somebody that I actually follow. She looks amazing in clothes. She was a former skier. She is dating Tommy Paul, who is a tennis player. I like everything she puts on her body, and she's not going to put something on her body that she doesn't like. It's kind of the same thing. So she's not trying to trick me into buying something. She's wearing something that looks amazing on her. I like her style and her taste. So I might go buy that tennis skirt now that she's wearing at the US Open so there are people that are legitimately repping brands that they are aligned with for a reason.
Yeah, but that's sponsorship. That's actually
that's
curated
sponsorship.
and vetted. The influencers, what a lot of the influencer model is that I'm a brand and I look at what your metrics are and I reach out to you and I say, I'm going to give you a paid product. I'm going to give you a paid vacation. I'm going to give you a paid this, but you need to say X, Y, and Z. And here are the points you need to make. And you are going to put your face and your validation on this product. And that's all behind the scenes. But what the public sees is I'm at this great place and this place is amazing and blah, blah, blah. And they don't have to disclose that they're getting comp for it. To me, that's a different thing.
Yeah, but everybody, you have to know anytime someone's pushing a brand, once you get to a certain level, that's what you want.
You are just pushing things that you like because you're not famous yet and you're not getting paid and they're not giving you free products. So before you are an influencer with millions of followers, you had to do something correct to get people to believe in you. And then that comes. So there are people that started out doing what they're gifted at doing. And I'm going to read some comments that I've gotten from my daughter's demographic, her friend. When I say to them, do you guys genuinely follow influencers? Are you getting advice from influencers? these two girls have kids, but they keep their content about fashion and wellness, which I love. And then she gave me the names of a couple influencers. Also, Whitney, too. I love her gym content. So that's Whitney Simmons. She's got 2.9 million followers. And she started out with gym content. Now, granted, she's sponsored by the Lululemons of the world and the Aloes or whatever. But, she found a niche, and her niche was gym content. I'm going to read you guys another couple. My two top favorite influencers. If they buy something, that means I'm buying it. Now, this is somebody that feels very strongly about what these people wear, what they promote. And she is a very smart cookie, and she really looks to them for fashion sense. She said,
that's the marketing.
She said,
well,
Devin
look how
Lee
easy
Carlson,
that is. But wait a minute. Look
and
how
Courtney
easy
Brown.
that is. Look how easy that is. And that to me, back to Darian's earlier point about a lemming and no deference to your girls or the influencers or anything like that. It's like that snap of a finger with it. They can change the tide on anything. And it's not just buying a skirt or whatever. It's politics. It's everything. It's how they treat the environment, how they treat others. But when you look at it from a broad view, you don't know these people. They don't live in your community. And this
They're
is
not
the
your
interesting
friends.
thing. They're not your friends. They don't care about you. They don't care, to me, that's the point. Like if you have 3 million followers, those aren't your friends. You have 3 million people you're influencing. That's a huge tide. And I think there's a great responsibility that I'm not sure they all have.
You have boys and I have girls.
I know.
So your boys are not being influenced by influencers. And I will tell you,
they are, but they're different.
I'm going to explain to you here. I'm going to read another comment. Okay. So I love Acquired Style and I love Emma McDonald. They are super transparent with what they do, day in my life workouts, explain how they started to where they are now, dating life, etc. They are always traveling and showing where they are going, hotel recommendations, things to do nearby. And then they post fashion stuff, wish lists, current wants and trends, and always link the clothing or similar options that are more affordable that they like. She said, this is my life. I'm obsessed with influencers. I'm currently in upstate New York with Joey, and I got the hotel recommendation from an influencer in New York City that I follow. So I do think as a girl mom, and I'm exposed to tons of girls because my girls all have friends, they are getting real information. And is it advice? I don't know that they're taking advice on how to live. I think they like somebody's style. And if somebody can say, you can get this look, but cheaper over here, or, hey, I just stayed at this fabulous upstate hotel and it was amazing and it was the bang for the buck. I don't think that there's a problem jumping on the bandwagon with people that have more exposure, have lived a little more life, or have a fashion flair that maybe you don't have to get, educated.
Yeah,
well, the phones are people's friends. The phone, when you hold it up, this is my friend. It answers my questions. It tells me what to buy. It tells me what to put on my face, what to eat, what to drink. The only thing it doesn't do is if I want to cry, I have no shoulder to put it on. That's the thing. It's so impersonal, but it's the way that it is, because you look and you go, it's today's marketing. That's all it is. It's today's marketing, and they're winning because people are tied to their cell phone, and it's all about marketing.
The new supermodels, these girls,
yeah,
that have 3 million. Now they're not going and getting, the Giselle Bundchens. They're getting the Alex Earl or the Paige Lorenz or whatever, because they're relatable to the demographic now. They like influencers better than supermodels. A dying breed, the supermodel thing. And I'm sure it'll come back, but it's funny to me because it's been around since the mid 2000s. And I feel the very first influencer was a chick named Allison. And she was Julia Allison. She was the first social media influencer before they even had a name for the job category. She was creating content for a variety of social media platforms, but rather than getting praise for her foresight, Allison had to defend herself against criticism and misogyny.
Can you continue on that? What was her platform and what year was that?
That was the mid 2000s. And she said, but practically no one recognized her because there wasn't language to talk about what she was doing. Today, she would be referred to as an influencer. So I don't know. She was vilified because I think she just had a stance on everything, and she looked like she could be promoting things and maybe getting, compensated in every area of whatever.
Back before TV and radio, you'd be a sellout if you align yourself with too many products, right? The pendulum is swung completely the other way from modern film, TV. If you endorsed a product, you better be on top of that product. And now if you're not endorsing, 100 products as somebody who's recognizable in TV media or other, you're a dope. And if you don't have your own brand, you're even dopier. So it's just accelerated on every level, from not only not wanting to align yourself to a product to being a sellout to selling out your name ad nauseum and making sure you trademark it before you die. So that's truly where we are. And face value, I think that the influencers, they're trying to build their brand. They're trying to build their business. They're trying to build followers because they can get more revenue. We know that what everybody's trying to do is monetize everything, because that's this country, that's the modern world, and that's that. And I just think that, again, the language to me on all the social stuff speaks volumes.
Yeah, think of all the new products that you discover when you're on social media and you see these influencers. What is that? The ping pong puck hoodie or the white fox hoodie, comfort hoodies. These products that you would never, ever run into a store and find. They're just online because the world is online. And you see it on this adorable little girl bouncing around. I want that because I want to look like that. You see all these little kids that are rocking the same brand, and it's all marketing. And it's
and a lot of it's, listen, the other part is that, we know that a lot of the stuff that you're seeing isn't even real. It's not, doesn't look the way it does once you get it in your hands.
Definitely not.
How many times have your kids, my mom falls prey to this, is some of those, retailers sign where it looks fabulous on the influencer, it looks fabulous online, and you get it and it's falling apart. They don't care about the actual, and they just want to get it in your hands. They want to get you to click to buy, to make it as easy as possible. There's a hyperlink and everything. There's a link,
and it's $25,
and it's nothing. And it's a rounding error for a lot of people. And then there's also the unrealistic expectation of what you're going to look in something. You've got a lot of these influencers that they look great all the time. We know from what we do, lighting is everything. And you guys both being models, the way to stand and the way to style. And I just worry about the mental health of trying to keep up with everything when you're following followers and you're listening to influencers that are obviously there to influence you. They're not there to help you through problems. They're not there to be your sounding board. And where's the community? Why are we not looking at people in our community to do that, in my view?
I think it's really interesting that Mackenzie is getting all kinds of texts from people while she's in Australia about how lucky are you that you're not losing TikTok. Because that's where they find all their influencers, really. I mean, they're on Instagram, but they're showing you how to do things. They're taking you through their day on TikTok. And Mackenzie literally said to me this morning, she's like, yeah, I'm psyched. I don't have to find, my people on different platforms because, I'm not losing TikTok. So, it's consuming. I don't think that, an influencer necessarily has to be a sounding board and, give somebody therapy when they're sad and down. You're not looking to that influencer for that. You're looking to that influencer for whatever it is, a makeup tip, something that looks good on your body type, a place to stay if you're going on vacation. I think therapy and therapists are for that, so I think influencers aren't trying to influence you to smoke and to do drugs and to drink. And, I understand the word influence and follower is a little upsetting, but I don't think that I don't think they're looking for them to become their personal friend and air out, all their grief and their problems. I think they're specifically tuning into them for whatever it is that they want to extract from them.
Well, I think your girls and your girls' friends and the people that we talk to, hopefully they're getting good parental guidance at home.
My girls are leaders. They're not followers.
So
but they are following people that know more about what they're doing than they do.
But I think the concern is that some people will follow without thought, without their own ability to screen some of the information and distill some of the information and recognize she's getting paid and she's going on all these trips, but they're being paid. That's an unrealistic expectation for my life. Like, I need to become an influencer. And that's what everybody wants to do now, because That's the
I was
golden,
going to say
that's
that.
the golden
It's a
ticket to
career.
free stuff.
Yeah, it's the career. It's not. I don't want to be Nobody wants to be a plumber or an electrician anymore. There is such a shortage of that. I want to be an influencer. Anything. I want to be a gamer. Anything tied to your phone.
I'm sure there's probably a class that you can take in college now that's social marketing strategies to be social influencers.
Oh,
or
1000%.
whatever. I mean, it's a growing industry and it's obviously profitable. Tricks are. But I know that even Mackenzie on her TikTok, she had a couple things that went very viral. So she got to the 20,000 person number and she makes money now on her TikToks. And it might be like, 60 cents. It might be $5. It depends on the algorithm and the metrics. But now she's inspired to create more content because some of her content has made it. And it's a challenge.
Yeah.
So
it's
she's
definitely
so creative.
uncharted water. That's
brilliant marketing on a lot of levels.
Yeah. But that's in order to be successful in the world today, you need to be out there. You need to put up clips. You need to put up videos. You have to share links. You have to constantly make it a full-time job to promote yourself and to promote your product. And that's how you get things done these days, because you're not putting an ad in a magazine or a newspaper. It's what it is.
Note, why don't you guys all start paying attention to Darian Boyle's Instagram, because she's going to be bringing her ski look daily to you very soon. She's got her own style. And she is not being bought off or swayed to wear whatever she doesn't want to wear. She is, a leader and a pioneer in fashion on the slopes. And she's going to share a lot of her new and old looks with you. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, I'm going digging in the closet in Vermont. But ladies, so much fun. Let's get to who is our Got Grit winner of the week. Ladies, it was so much fun talking about influencers. And who's going to be our Got Grit winner of the week? I have a great one in my back pocket. Should I share it?
You're up, girl.
I mean, he's getting ready for a national championship. So, Darian, please reveal our Got Grit.
Well, super powerful Ohio State quarterback Will Howard, who literally defied the woke ESPN. He's thanking God and Jesus Christ as his team heads up to the championships. And he's out there, and all these quarterbacks these days, it's good that you hear them say you want to thank God because they have someone to believe in. And I love his grit that he's standing up there and he's literally going against ESPN. Nobody goes against ESPN. I mean, that's your ticket to success. And I love it.
Squatters used to be considered a negative connotation, but I feel so many pro athletes are actually taking a stance now. They know they're gifted. Okay. And if you have gratitude and you know that you're gifted, they're thanking the appropriate person. And it's not taboo anymore and it's not frowned upon. There was a little scuttlebutt about him not taking the mic after the Rose Bowl because, quote unquote, people didn't want to hear him thank the Lord. However, I think that the last thing that anybody wants to do is piss off the Christian demographic because they're pretty huge. And I think it's refreshing to see, if you can stand up for your rights and take a knee and have a rainbow flag on the sidelines, I think it's absolutely appropriate to give thanks to the big guy in the sky for your abilities.
I think we should,
not taking a knee though.
I know, but listen, I don't think anybody should take a knee, but I think that's my personal opinion. I think that when you have the opportunity, the ability of giving the platform to somebody who deserves it, they're entitled to say whatever they want. We give people the opportunity to say terrible, horrible things when they have the microphone. Why can't they pose whatever ideology they have on whatever platform they want? I think that's the First Amendment. So I don't want to limit God. I don't want to limit what their religious or their affiliate belief is.
I don't want them to take a political stance when they're thanking people. You don't want to hear what they have to say about that in that moment. If you're an athlete and you're giving thanks to people or you're whatever, it's just when you start marrying politics with somebody that is a high profile individual that is got the platform, the microphone in their hands, it gets a little crazy. But giving thanks,
be respectful.
To God, I think it's a nice thing.
It's all about respect and allowing people the space to voice their personal opinion.
Agreed.
Respect. Will Howard. We love him. He's a Buckeye.
All right.
Let's go. That would be great.
All right, ladies. I want to end the show with a little jam. One of my favorite jams that I listen to when I hear the lyrics, it goes through my body, it calms me. It makes me feel happy. It feeds my soul. I feel like when I hear it, that my dad is talking to me. And if I die, you play it at my funeral. All right. You ready for some lyrics?
Yep.
Okay.
Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing's gonna be all right. Singing. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing gonna be all right.
I know it.
Good old Bob.
Bob Marley, Three Little Birds.
I mean, who doesn't love that song?
That's
That song
such a
is,
good
you know what?
song.
And it just promotes happiness. Hear those words and you hear him singing. That's what reggae does for me. It just it takes me from wherever I am and it puts me in palm trees and warm weather, and I like a tropical vibe, and that just puts me right where I'm in my happy place in my head and heart.
Yeah, I mean, you feel it. I mean, I feel the music and I can hear it playing in my head, and
I have a
feel
pina
it in my
colada in my
body,
hands,
and
'cause
it's just so
no longer
nice.
January.
And it was John's dad who's passed when he was 25 years old. That was his song too. So that's connected for the dads in heaven. So that's beautiful, Dee. I love that.
No, I love it. I remember when he passed, I came home, I turn on the radio because I listen to reggae all the time, thanks to my bestie Bill Levins, and it was on. And then I would get sad and I'd turn on the radio and Three Little Birds is on. Someone's talking to me today. So music soothes your soul, as does Girls Gone Gritty, ladies.
And I like our playlist so far.
It's such a good playlist.
It's
And
awesome.
I love Three Little Birds because this time of year we are always feeding the birds here in New Jersey. We're making sure that we're taking care of our feathered friends outside, and they bring us signs all the time. We were
Cardinals, Blue
listening.
Jays.
Yeah, we were listening about that last night too.
Eagles.
And so make sure you're outside feeding the birds, feeding your soul with our music, feeding your mind with our episode, and sharing and liking your community, sharing these conversations with the people that matter to you. We thank you so much for tuning into another episode of Girls Gone Gritty. Make it a great day. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.